Previously on My Hawaiian Life. Last week you met
this guy.
I moved to the Big Island from Salt Lake City, Utah, where I grew up in nature, out skiing in the mountains and enjoying all things outdoors. I had to start from scratch and build my new life. I soon had everything I would need for a comfortable life in a tent. So after a year and a half in a tent, it's time to upgrade. There was a small tool shed that needed to be moved, and I requested it be moved to my campsite. I wanted to turn that tool shed into a jungle hut. In November 2008, I began my volunteer experience at Kalani in the horticulture department. Luckily, I grew up taking care of gardens, mowing lawns, and growing food. I didn't enjoy it much growing up, but have grown to appreciate all the knowledge and skills my dad taught me as a young man. The horticulture department was much more than garden cultivation and management. It encompassed landscaping, lawn care, fruit picking, and tree management. Also, composting and making soil for propagation. We even built an aquaponics system in 2010. I teamed up with Jacob and Barkus and Chemo to build a self-sufficient system that used tilapia fish to feed the plants in the aquaponics system.
Aquaponics is combining the growing of fish, which is aquaculture, with hydroponic plant growing, which is growing plants directly in water. When you grow hydroponically, you have to add a lot of fertilizer to your water. With the introduction of the fish culture, we provide the nutrients from the fish poo themselves. The benefits of this system is that you can grow tremendous amount of food 3 times faster than normal methods, plus you get to harvest the fish themselves. So you're growing your protein and your vegetables. The root system filters the water, making the water clean and livable for the fish.
Awesome.
If you want to get a good example of that,
Yeah.
right here you can see the quality, the darkness of this water compared to the color of this water. This is where the the recycled water is coming back into the fish tank.
Nice.
This is what we call constant flow, meaning that the water is constantly flowing through the system, delivering nutrients to the plants. In the next stage of our production, we're going to do what's called an ebb and flow. The ebb and flow takes the water, the constant flow of the water, and turns it into a flood and drain method. The plants are grown in pea gravel at that point, which we then flood and allow it to drain and then re-flood. What that does is the pea gravel captures the solid materials and provides that as nutrients for the plants growing in that. The plants that will grow in there are more root crops, such as carrots, beets, potatoes, things of that nature, whereas the constant flow is more set up for leafy greens like lettuce, chard, kale, basil, onions. We've got, right now we just finished harvesting all of our tomatoes, and we're getting ready to put in a new crop of tomatoes. But right now we have our green onions, our watercress, we have basil, kale, chards, mint growing. We eat the fish right now for our volunteers. We have to first receive FDA approval to put them on our lanai, but our volunteers get to enjoy them as part of their barbecues. The water comes from the fish tank, it comes through these tubes into the trough, and then it just flows down through, gravity fed to the bottom. And this is just an example of how the roots grow down through into the water. The water all gravity feeds down to here. This is our lowest trough, so we've not used any power until we get down to here. Then we use a little bit of power from our solar panels to pump the water back up into the fish tank. The water is all recycled, so it's a great system for those who live in the Southwest where it's rather dry. This is a great way to conserve water. Our goal here is to be as sustainable as possible. So all of our to-go products, which are made out of compostable food products, such as potato starch and corn starch, go into our compost. All of our napkins, paper towels go into the compost. And we even take it to the point that in Hawaii, we have an issue with invasive plants, and some of them grow as big as 70 and 80-foot trees. So we cut those trees down and put those into the compost as well.
Who says you have to go to college to get a degree in horticulture? Being a volunteer at Kalani was a hands-on, real-world education, not only for me, but all the hundreds of volunteers that spent time in this department.
It's going very well. Ever since the tilapia died and the new tilapia have come to life.
What's a tilapia?
A tilapia is a fish. Would you like to see them?
Never.
Well.
Hey, Aaron. How you doing?
Hey, Casey. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
You're awfully friendly on camera.
That's because I haven't got my sunglasses on.
Aaron has angry sunglasses. What are these?
This is kale.
What does it do?
It grows and feeds us.
You cut it and you put it in a box like this.
Do you inspect it first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Smile, Aaron. Smile, Patrick.
Yes.
Val. This is Aquaponics. It's run by fish
This
shit.
will be like next week. We just cut all these.
This is where the fish live.
Basically, we take the big leaves and go for palm size or bigger.
Yep.
So these are
And they piss in there,
you can cut that one. Like,
and the shit goes in the pipes, and it makes tomatoes.
but at this point, you want to leave some of these.
Tomatoes.
This is a good leaf now, but next week it's a good life. Yeah.
Say goodbye, Aquaponics.
Bye, Aquaponics.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of My Hawaiian Life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Stay tuned for episode 5, Adventures Outside the Bubble. To Life on the Big Rock. Enjoy weekly videos from the Big Island, Hawaii. Don't forget to subscribe and join in the adventures as we travel around and take in the sights and sounds. Enjoy the embrace of the warm, salty air and let the soothing relaxation set in. Experience the beauty of nature and what the Big Island has to offer. Adjust your attitude and enjoy virtual tours from the most remote islands in the world. And don't forget to always take care of this big blue rock we all call home.